What's up, guys? We are live. It is the MMAOB Daily Podcast, Part 2 for Monday, October 21st, 2024. And we are going to be previewing UFC 308. I can't wait to talk about this card with you, man. I really can't. This is a good card. Lots of good fights in this card. Pay-per-view card. And I'm stoked to talk about it with you, man. So, Marcel, we just did the UFC Vegas 99 recap. A lot of fun. We had a lot of people in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Hopefully we get a good turnout for this one, UFC 308 preview. Marcel, I guess I'll just ask you, like, off the top, what's your overall thoughts on this card? I really like the card. What do you think? I always ask you to rate it out of 10. What do you think out of 10? Answer me. I can see you shaking. I can see you moving there. Yeah.
What I think, it's a good card, man. Let's put it an 8 out of 10. I think.
Yeah, I think it could be a 9 potentially too. I think it's a very good card. Got a couple comments about Larry in the chat. What's up, man? Glad to have you here. May. Glad to have you, man. Biggest cards in 300. 303 was, well, I guess 303 lost Connor and Chandler, but yeah, it was pretty big. Go home, that could be bothered make you wait. Hopefully, it's at 185 locally, so you should be okay. Yeah, there's a rumor now that Tatiana Scores is injured. Anything you could tell us, Marcel? I know you just got the news yourself.
I just saw it. Yeah, MMA Mulatto put that out, and he's
pretty good, right?
Yeah, and he normally breaks the Rinat Jandiroba fight, so I probably heard it from her side. I think so. Yeah.
Who's Lucas's manager? Is it Lucas?
Fernand's manager is what's his Thiago.
Okay, because I was saying she has the same haircut as him, as Lucas. Yeah,
Thiago, by the way. Yeah.
Ask Thiago. Send him a message. See what he says. Maybe Marcel can confirm the news during today's podcast. And yeah, she is injury prone, man. Too bad. But maybe they'll just give Bruno the title shot against Bailey Zhang. I don't mind if she gets it. She's looked very good. All right, guys. We have a good card to talk about here. We have, let me count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fights. We lost a fight today, Marcel. Do you want to talk about that fight that we lost?
So Saidnor Magomedov is not fighting Daniel Wilcat Santos anymore. Santos is out. He's apparently injured. So they're searching for Said to keep him on the card. But yeah, no idea if it happens,
Fucking sucks. Who were you going to pick? Were you going to pick Said or?
Yeah, I would pick Said. I know you want to pick Willie Cat, but I would pick Said.
I was thinking about it. Yeah, I thought he had a good chance to win as a dog. I think Willie Cat's underrated. He doesn't fight very often, right? But again, I'm kind of glad the fight didn't get canceled because I probably would have picked him and he would have lost because he's injured. So it is what it is. But yeah, it sucks that fight got canceled because I was looking forward to that fight. I think both guys are very, very talented. All right. Yeah, Beer. So I can't wait for this card too. And I should mention I'm going to be going to the Sports Interaction Studios downtown Toronto, and I'll do the live chat with those guys during the main card. So it's going to be really good on Saturday. Starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, guys, and we are opening the prelims up, which start at 10 a.m. Eastern, Marcel, with a nice early card for you too, my friend. We have the first fight of the night, guys. We have light heavyweights Ibo Aslan and Raffael Cerqueira, who was making his UFC debut here. And the odds for this one are competitive. Odds for this fight have Aslan minus 122 favorite, plus 105 on Raffael Cerqueira. I'll get your thoughts on this fight first, Marcel. What do you think about the opening card here, Marcel? Fighting the card.
I mean, it's pretty odd that Raffael got signed out of nowhere. Pretty much he was on the Contender Series twice. Then he got a third opponent, and then they pulled him off the fight to put him in against Ibo Aslan. I'm not too familiar with him, to be honest. I know which teams he trains with. His fights, I've seen some of his fights. Not really like great competition, so hard to say, If you look at Ibo Aslan, I think Aslan is decent. I don't think he's amazing. He had a fun debut against Anton Turkai, but he was really hittable as well, at the same time. So I think it was fight of the night. Turkai got cut after that fight. If you look at the fight, I'm picking Aslan, but I'm not sure. I think Aslan wins. I'm going with a decision win for him. Maybe a stoppage, but I think he takes the over from Cerqueira. But that's my opinion.
All right, well, hit the button for me because I have an underdog to get off the card. Let's go. Got it? I'm going to take Cerqueira, guys. I watched the tape on this guy. I think he's fucking legit. I really do. He looks like a really dangerous striker. Now, again, he's not fighting the best guys in Brazil. I get that, but my God, it's impressive. Undefeated. All of his fights, or almost one, except for one, are by stoppage. Just destroying guys, laying waste to them. Great kicks, good punching. Crazy. He had like a crazy spinning back elbow at one point, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was crazy too. Yeah. I mean, the guy's really dangerous, man. Crazy kicks, huge power. I think he's got some upside. I mean, the fact they signed him is to me a sign that they like him too, because he didn't have to fight contender, and I think he would have beaten that Mazzeo guy. By the way, Aslan, he did fight in the UFC. He did pick up that win over Takai, but it was like a competitive fight, and Takai is not a guy I rate very highly. He does have a lot of wins. He's got some decent wins. He's obviously a knockout artist himself, but I mean, it's a competitive fight. Look at the odds. Someone's getting knocked out. Someone's going to sleep. I'm taking Cerqueira. I liked what I saw from the guy. I think he knocks Aslan out. I'll say maybe second round. Let me double check. First or second round. Yeah, I think he can knock him out, though. I do like him as a dog here, though, and I'll take a shot at this guy to get the win. Do it. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have short notice booking here as Rinat Fakhretdinov takes on Carlos the Lion Leal, who just got signed to the UFC, and our good friend Marcel broke the news on this fight on Saturday. I think you broke the news.
Yeah, I did. Saturday, yeah.
Welterweight fighter Carlos Leal, if you guys don't know, was from PFL. He fought Ray Cooper, beat him as a huge underdog. He fought Sadabusi twice, I think, and lost. But he's a very good prospect, and I do like the signing quite a bit. Unfortunately, Marcel is taking on Rinat Fakhretdinov on short notice, which is about as hard as a matchup as you can get. The odds right now, actually, I'll tell you this. They opened at minus 500, guys, and it's down to minus 218, which is interesting in my opinion, because people, I guess, took an early dog shot on Miranda or Leal. I guess it says Carlos Leal Miranda. I'll call him Leal because that's what it should be. Because I think the opening odds were like minus 500 plus 375, but it's now gone down to a normal minus 218 plus 180. Yeah, I don't blame you if you took a shot in Leal at those odds. That was kind of nuts. Now it's like back to a reasonable amount. I mean, to me, Rinat wins the fight because I think Rinat is as legit as it comes. I like him a lot. I know you do feel the same way. We both feel like he's a guy that could be I don't know if I could say champion, but maybe potentially. It's just that Leal matched up decently. He has good takedown defense, good striking. So it's an interesting fight because Fakhretdinov, he's looked great for the most part, but his cardio is not the best. And if he gets the takedown stuff, his striking is not the best. So yeah, I'm still going to pick him because I think he can probably take Leal down and control him enough of the fight to win 2 of the 3 rounds. But I feel like this could be a sketchy one too, Marcel. And I think that's why people bet on Leal early on. What do you think, man?
I feel exactly the same way, man, about how you say I think it will go 3 rounds, and I think Rinat will probably win at least 2 of the 3 rounds and gets a decision win. I feel exactly the same way. I think Leal is a good signing. Also, he takes it on short notice, but he was supposed to fight actually this week for UAE Warriors, so it's not like he wasn't in camp. So yeah, it's interesting, man. But yeah.
Yeah, we have the same pick there, so there we go with Rinat. But again, I do think this is a good signing. And I think this guy beats a lot of guys in the UFC welterweight division. So nice signing here by the UFC. All right, now we go to the middleweight Marcel. Ismail Naurdiev against Bruno Silva. The Austrian Wonder Boy Marcel himself against Blindado. And the odds for this one have Ismail Naurdiev. I think he opened as the underdog. He did. Now he's minus 155, and Bruno Silva's plus 130. So the odds flipped. Money's coming in on Ismail Naurdiev, and I'll start this one, Marcel. I was struggling with this one. I don't know about you. I was struggling on this one a little bit, just because I think Bruno Silva. Again, I talked about this already, but I think he gave Ferreira one of his tougher fights in the UFC, right? But the thing is, it was a few years ago now. I think he's looked like shit since then. He did knock out Brad Tavares, but it was like a quick stoppage, an early stoppage, and other than that, dude, he's 1-5 in his last 6. He got 327 to Chris Weidman. I get there was eye pokes, but still a bad look. Lost every round to Sharon Magomedov. Got steamrolled by Brandon Allen. I mean, he loses all these fights. He got dropped by Gerald Mearshart. I don't know if I could pick him. I really don't. I want to, but I don't think I can. Because Naurdiev, to me, is not great. He didn't look great in the UFC the first time, 2-2. He is moving back up to, he's moving up to middleweight, I should say. His last fight was at middleweight in the regional scene. If you look at his last couple of fights, not super impressive. He lost to that Coetzee guy, Marcel, got knocked out by him. Not super impressive loss when you look back at it because Coetzee lost on Contender. I still kind of feel like because he's so much younger, he's 7 years younger. He does have UFC experience. I guess I'm going to pick him. I kind of feel like people are on the right track now that they're going with him. He switched from a dog to a favorite, so money's coming in on this guy. I'll pick him to win a decision because Bruno Silva is as tough as he gets. I have no interest in betting this fight. That's my final thoughts. No interest in betting it. Slightest lean to Naurdiev, but not confident. What do you think?
So yeah, I'm picking Silva here, man.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult fight to pick. Obviously, as you see how Bruno Silva has showed up as of lately, I think he got screwed in the Whiteman fight, but yeah, I mean Naurdiev. I'm surprised they took him back, man. He's won like 1-2 in his last 3 fights. In the UFC, he was decent. I think he lost as a really big favorite against Chance Rancounter. I think a couple of years ago.
Yes, that was a huge upset.
Yeah. I think almost everybody went like, what was it, 10-1 on that card, 11-1. That was a massive upset back then.
Huge. The chance wasn't that good, honestly.
No. But yeah, I'm picking Silva here. I think it's like I think he will be able to get a decision win here, but I feel like it will be close. Listen, if Silva loses, he's gone. That's pretty much the thing, But
yeah. No, I don't blame you. Here's the thing: the reason why I finally got swayed to Naurdiev is because if you look at Silva's record, in fights that go the distance, he's only 3-3. But the thing is, he's 20 wins by knockout, right? So he's a guy that's knockout or bust, in my opinion, kind of. So, but the thing is, I don't think Naurdiev's good either. So I don't blame you at all, man. Honestly, like I was on the fence. I went with Naurdiev, but he is undersized. Agreed. I don't think he really deserved to be back in the UFC. There's other guys that deserved it more. Beerchit, no. Chris Cyborg and Larissa Pacheco just fought in Saudi Arabia, Marcel, in that card. Yeah. So women can fight there. There is no women's fights in this card, though, guys. And this is a good question to ask. I mean, it's a good segue. How many finishes do you think? We'll hit more than last week. I'm projecting about 6 finishes on this card, so half the fights. Is that a good amount? Well, half the fights?
I think so. I would think so.
It is a bigger cage too, right? If I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a pay-per-view, right? So yeah, should be.
Should be, yeah. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Farid Basharat taking on Victor Hugo. Fun fight here at Bantamweight, Marcel. Farid Basharat's a huge favorite, actually, Marcel. Minus 625. Jesus. Victor Hugo plus 455. I think these odds are a little bit crazy, to be honest. Victor Hugo's a good fighter, I think. But I'm picking Basharat. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's undefeated. He's looked great in the UFC. I think the Taylor Lapilus win is legit. I think the Damon Blackshear win is legit. But like Victor Hugo is pretty skilled, man. He's a good fighter. They call him striker, but he's going for his grappling, which is funny. He has striking too. He's a well-rounded guy. I'm not going to pick him, but I mean, we just saw 3 huge upsets last week. It's not crazy to think it could be another one. Yeah, I'm thinking Basharat, Marcel, but I don't know. I just think minus 625 is way too high. I do. What do you think?
I think there's a massive gap in level, dude. I think Farid blasts through him. To be honest, I don't know if he finishes him, but I think he wrestle fucks him the shit out of him.
That's what I think. I think he just grinds him out. That's what
I think. I think the odds are good. I agree with the odds. So I'm not as high on Victor Hugo as you are, but
I think Victor's good. But I'm just saying, like the odds went from minus 278 a week ago to minus 625 this week. That's a big change,
Yeah, Victor Hugo fought the Pedro Falcao fight on short notice. I like MMA if asked that. Yeah, I'm going with Basharat. I think a decision, maybe even a finish, but I'm going. The safe thing with Farid is probably a decision here.
You ever see The Simpsons? You ever watch that show, Simpsons?
Yeah, but not like full seasons.
Remember that guy, the Hugo guy? He was like Bart's like brother that lives in the attic. You remember that guy?
No.
You don't remember?
Why? Does he look like me?
No, but someone in the comments has got to know. He was like, yeah, look at this. Whenever he says that, it reminds me of him. Someone in the comments is going to know who I'm talking about. I think probably decision. He could submit it maybe, but I don't know. I think decision. What do you think? Decision?
Let me see. Yeah, let me see. Hugo from The Simpsons?
Hugo Simpsons, yeah. If you see the picture, you'll see him. He's like his evil brother or something.
Yeah, he looks like...
doesn't look like you, dude, at all.
No, he's more handsome. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I know. Farid deserves a stop. I mean, to be honest, Farid beat... what's his name? Taylor Lapilus, which is a really good win. Yeah. Was this the original fight or was it a different fight? Was this the original fight?
No, this was supposed to be... Who was Farid supposed to fight on this card? Look at can you look somewhere? Let me look as well as I can find it.
I thought it was a different fight because this doesn't really make sense, to be honest. It was no, it wasn't, I guess.
Oh no, the last time Farid was supposed to fight Montel Jackson.
That makes sense, yeah. And then they booked this fight. Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
But not for this card,
but yeah, it makes sense. Okay. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Kenny Nzechukwu taking on Chris Barnett, heavyweight fight. Kennedy minus 550, Barnett plus 400. I'm not picking Chris Barnett. I want to because I love the guy, but I'm not picking him. I'm going to pick Kennedy, Marcel, but would I bet on minus 550? Fuck that. No way after he lost to OSP. The only hope is, and I almost feel like they could have cut him, but like maybe Safe Saeed was like, please give him more shot at heavyweight, like where he doesn't have to cut the weight because he's such a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Kennedy by knockout, Marcel. I just wouldn't lay the juice on him. What do you think?
Okay, you lay the juice on Kennedy when he loses to OSP, right? But at the same time, he has way more wins to win than Chris Barnett here, So, yeah, Kennedy for me here as well. It's more like a fade on Barnett, although I really like to do it. Yeah, Kennedy, let's hope there will be a finish because if this goes to decision, that will probably break the whole card, probably. So, I hope Barnett does well and we see a fun fight, but I think Kennedy wins the fight.
Do you call him Beast Boy or Huggy Bear still?
I like Huggy Bear more, but yeah, Beast Boy is his official nickname now, but I still prefer the Huggy Bear one.
Me too, is so good.
Yeah.
Farid, I don't think Farid's lost this, I don't think he's lost at all, Farid, right? He hasn't lost, right?
No, that his brother lost to Ayman Zahabi.
That's who it was, Javid. And Ayman's pretty good. Again, for us, Zahabi guys, anyone trains there, they always come with good game plans, Marcel. They always do, right? Do you see that? By the way, did you see the stream with Ayman where he's talking with the Rob Font thing? He was fucking pumped up, eh?
I haven't seen that.
He has a stream, right? He has his YouTube channel. When they announced him as the winner, he's like, "Yes, let's go." Like he was so pumped because his brother, obviously, for us, is one of the best trainers in MMA. I mean, let's be honest. Like
he's just long-time GSP coach, right?
Yeah, dude, he's underrated. People forget about him. He's great. Who doesn't love Huggy Bear? I love the guy, but I'm not picking him to win. Kennedy's. You can't trust Kennedy. Where do you rank him knocking out Oberg? It was weird. I remember when I was with my ex, we used to pick the fights together, and she picked Alberg, and I'm like, why would you pick? Or no, sorry, she picked Kennedy. I picked Alberg. I'm like, why would you pick Kennedy? He's gonna get destroyed. First round, Alberg beat the shit out of him. I'm like, why did you pick him? And the second round, he gassed out Marcel. She's like, yes. It was so funny. Long time ago, but yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it just happened. It was crazy. So yeah, that was a big upset. I think he was like plus 3 or 4 underdog. Barnett title charge? Probably not. I think the loser gets cut at this fight. Do you agree with that? Loser gets cut?
Yeah. Gotta agree with that.
Does Chris Barnett make 266? Does he make the weight? He missed weight in his last fight.
Let's hope so.
Does he miss his weight? That'd be horrible. Against Jay Collier. And then he drank a beer after with the fan in the crowd. Remember that? He was drinking beer. Stare down, so he's going to be like what's the height difference? It's like a foot or something.
Yeah,
it's like a full foot, isn't it? Let me check. 6'5" to 5'9". Okay, so it's 8 inches. Yeah, that's pretty big. Barnett versus Nagano. Let's go. There we go. Anton, I'm glad to have you here, man. All right, let's go to the next fight here. All right, Marcel, we got Abus Magomedov, the GOAT, taking on Bruno Ferreira. On this one, minus 148. Abus plus 124. Bruno. So Bruno's the underdog. What do you think about this one?
So I think that will be an entertaining fight. I think Abus will do. He will do okay, but at the same time, I think Bruno will lands the equalizer. He knocks him out. That's what I think. To be honest, I think it will be a fun fight as long as it lasts. But I think that there will be a finish. I think Bruno has more power than Abus. I think Abus is a little bit more technical, maybe, but Bruno got that crazy knockout power. And I'm sorry, Blake. How you even there? But yeah.
Hit the button. Let's go. Marcel, we have a consensus dog. We have one on this card. Bruno Ferreira, I'm taking him too as an underdog. Yeah, I honestly feel like he's being a little bit like overlooked here. I mean, the guy's insane knockout power. I almost feel like the result in Muziboy, he got caught. It happens. I think the guy's good. I'm not saying he's, going to be a champion, but I think he can chin Abus. I think he can do it. Abus is a guy he did win. He looked good in his last fight. I'll give him that against Worley, but he got dropped by Kyle Bahayo, who doesn't really drop people, and Sean Strickland dropped him. I'm not even concerned that Strickland eventually, finished him with strikes after he gassed, but it's more the knockdown that worries me. His chin isn't that good. He's also it's only a 2-year difference, but he's a guy that has a lot of fights. Bruno has 13. Abus has 30. This is his 34th fight. He's taking a lot of damage. He's been around the sport for a long time. I think he gets chinned, dude. I really do. I think that Bruno just gonna bull rush him, Marcel, and knock him out. First round knockout, Marcel. You like that?
Yeah. Go with early knockout
If he doesn't knock him out, though, he probably loses by decision.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. But again, we talk about this, right? It's gambling, right? We take a risk, Marcel, once in a while. I'll take a dog on this one. Let's go. Let's do it.
Oof.
Yeah, there's no shame in it, really. I mean, I think he's an okay fighter, Abus. He might win the decision here. I don't think it's impossible by any means. He's the favorite, but I got to make a pick. I'm taking the dog. I'm taking the chin, the guy. Let's go. What are you going to say? Sorry.
I say woof.
Oh, woof. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Mateusz Rebecki taking on Myktybek Orolbai, Marcel. And the odds for this one have Orolbai is minus 300, plus 240 on Rebecki. It's just tough because, man, I was so high on Rebecki before the last fight, but that was not a good look, getting finished by Diego Ferreira, who's, again, a talented veteran, but getting finished by him in the third round, gassing out like that, not a good look. Not a good look at all. And it's not like he's super young. He's turning 32 in a few months, or next month, I should say. He's not like a super young guy. Myktybek is 26 years old. He's getting better every fight. He's looked amazing in the UFC, in my opinion. He destroyed Earl Medic. He had like a fun fight with Elvis Brenner where there were some times where, you wasn't sure what was going to happen because Brenner's just so tough, but eventually he dropped him in the third round and won the fight too. So very impressive. And I think he actually won all 3 rounds with his wrestling, right? So there was that point deduction. That's what it was in that fight. Do you remember what was for the point deduction? What was it for in that fight? What was it for? Or was it? Let me check here. Brenner, Orolbai. What point deduction? I want to double check this.
I don't remember anymore.
Orolbai deducted 1 point for grabbing the fence.
Okay.
He did get a little bit tired, but he did end up dropping him late in the third round too. So I get what you're saying too, Tristan, by the way. Like Rebecki did drop Ferreira, didn't finish him, and then gassed. I don't know. Orolbai is pretty tough, man. Again, he's one of these guys training at Team Alpha Male too. He's with Suma Darji, Song Yudong. A lot of these Asian fighters have went there and they're training under Ryan Faber and they're doing well. I like Orolbai, Marcel. I really like him. I think he wins this fight. I think he could finish the fight too. I really like Orolbai in this fight. What do you think?
Yeah, somebody I talked to said Orolbai is a real special fighter. I was like, why do you think he's special? It's like he's the first prehistoric guy who's fighting in the UFC. It's like it's such an idiot. Yeah, I like Orolbai as well here. Listen, I'm not completely off the Rebecki train as you were. But like I said to you last time, when we talked briefly about this one when we did the fight announcements, I think. But yeah, I also have to go Orolbai here. I think he wins the decision. But I think it will be an entertaining fight as long as the fight takes. But I think it goes 50 minutes.
Here's a good question from Glenn. What fight will be your piss break?
Probably don't have a piss break here. I'm just hoping I don't have to take a shit, That's all I want to say.
There's no women's MMA fights on this card, Marcel. So there you go. Yeah, what do you think about that? No women's MMA fights. Do you think that's why the card looks better? Honestly,
I don't mind, dude. Listen, you got the opposite of last week. Last week you had 3 back-to-back, and now you have 0. I don't mind women MMA. I'm not one of these guys who are like, oh, I'm not gonna watch them.
I was actually looking at the next couple cards, and like, there's not really a lot of women's MMA fights coming up. Like, there really.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either. Like, I think there's some good fights, but there's less knockouts. I mean, that's just a fact. So if you guys are looking for knockouts. Maybe you got some more on this card. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We have this is the main event of the prelims. It's a fun fight here at welterweight between Geoff Neal and Rafael dos Anjos. Geoff Neal is minus 310, RDA plus 250, and I am all over Geoff Neal in this fight. I really like this fight for Geoff Neal. I don't like this fight at all for RDA. First off, I don't like him at welterweight. I get why he's doing this because he's older. He's like almost 40 now. But I just hate the weight class for him. He's fighting bigger guys, stronger guys that he can't take down easily, guys that can knock him out. I get it. Already, somewhat competitive with Gamrot in this last fight. He did drop him, but Geoff Neal knocks him out, I think, man. I really do think Geoff Neal can knock him out in this fight. And if not, I think he wins the decision because I think Geoff Neal, his takedown defense, 87%. He's stuffing takedowns at a crazy clip. He's almost impossible to take down. Against someone like, especially RDA, who's a smaller guy. His striking is better. He's younger. Geoff Neal wins. It's either knockout or decision. I'm really confident Geoff Neal wins this fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm also in Geoff Neal here, man. Unless Rafael can implement this ground game, but I mean, I don't see it happening, to be honest. I think Geoff Neal wins. I also think he wins a finish.
Yeah.
I'm going second round TKO for Geoff Neal.
Yeah, no, I like him too. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Opening bout on the main card, Shara Bullet Magomedov, guys, taking on Arman Petrosian. Odds for this one, Shara Bullet, minus 166. Only a small favorite here against Arman, plus 140. So I think that the odds are kind of showing that it's stylistically a competitive fight because it's basically two strikers. And Shara, I'll get your thoughts in a sec, Marcel, but to me, he's been disappointing, I think, in the UFC. I know he's 3-0, but I haven't been too impressed from him. I don't know. Like I wasn't blown away by the fight with Michal Oleksiejczuk. I wasn't blown away by the Tricoli fight. The Bruno Silva fight I think was probably his best fight, and even then it wasn't like amazing. So I think this guy's a little bit overrated. Like I don't think he's going to be a champion. I don't look at him and I think, wow, this guy could be a champ like Fluffy or something like that. I think he's kind of one-dimensional too. But at the same time, Petrosian, he's a bit of an older prospect. I don't even say a prospect at this point. He's 34. He's turning 34 in a few weeks, I should say. He's been in the UFC for a while. I think he's got good striking. Obviously, if he can keep the fight standing, has a chance. He did beat Gregory Rodriguez in a competitive fight. He's got good striking, but I think his takedown defense is pretty bad. It's just this matchup is against the guy who's also going to strike. It's not going to take him down. So that's why the odds are close, because people maybe think that he can outstrike Shara. It's possible. I think he could be the more technical guy, but I feel like Shara will land the harder shots. And I just feel like Shara wins a decision here, Marcel. That's my thoughts on the fight. But I don't know. I'm not high on the guy. I'm really not high on him. Give me your thoughts on him. I'm going to pick the guy to win, but you taking a dog?
Yeah, I'm going with Arman, man. Favorable matchmaking all the time for Shara. And I think we'll go to a decision. And I even think Petrosian has a better ground game than Shara, man. I know he's also a striker, but I don't think his ground game is that bad at all, So
yeah.
If he's smart, he just takes it to the ground. And I think he will be able to do that. I think he mixes in the striking with the grappling. I'm taking the dog. I'm taking Arman here. Decision.
There's some advantage. I mean, he has the more experience in the UFC. He's like you said, probably the better wrestler of the two if there has to be one. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a competitive fight. I don't trust Shara Bullet. I do not trust the guy at all. So, all right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Magomed Ankalaev, Marcel's favorite fighter, taking on Alexander Rakic. Are you surprised this is like this kind of, I wouldn't say low on the card, but yeah, I mean, shouldn't it be the featured bout, this one?
No, I'm not surprised. UFC doesn't want to have too much light on Ankalaev if he wins, so of course I'm not surprised.
Magomed's a huge favorite, minus 360, Rakic plus 285. So, yeah, I'm picking Ankalaev. The reason I'm picking him is because he's more well-rounded. I actually think he's probably going to have to wrestle in this fight a little bit too. I know that Rakic is good takedown defense, but I think Magomed Ankalaev can take him down a little bit and grind him out. He's going to have to, because on the feet, Rakic is good, man. Remember the fight with Yuri? You saw it. Dude, he looked great in that first round. He was lighting Yuri up. His striking looked amazing. And then he got chinned. Yuri went into like full psycho mode for himself and just like went crazy and knocked him out. Rakic has an outside chance of landing that Hail Mary punch, but I just think that Ankalaev, again, if he gets in trouble on the feet, which I think he can hang on the feet, but if he gets in trouble on the feet, he will shoot takedowns. He will make it boring. To be honest with you, Marcel, I kind of feel like this fight won't be that exciting. I hate to say it, but I feel like he's going to have to wrestle in this fight. And I think it's going to be a grindy type of fight, like the Jan Blachowicz fight. I think it's going to look like that. So I'll take Ankalaev, a decision. I think it might be a little bit more competitive than the minus 360, just because Rakic's striking is so good. But I think Ankalaev will win the fight. I know you're picking him, but do you think it's going to be exciting, or are you like me that you think it's going to be a little boring? What do you think?
We will know after a minute, probably. Listen, I have all respect to Rakic, man. I think he's a very good fighter, but I'm picking Magomedov here. I think he wins. I think he finishes Rakic as well. I think he gets that win by stoppage. I think in the second round, and UFC will cry so hard that they have to make Alex Poatan Ferreira against Magomed Ankalaev, because they really don't want that. And I think Ferreira has a good chance to beat Ankalaev. I don't think Magomed will easily win against Ferreira or whatever, but the UFC just wants to have every how do you say that? Wants to keep the cards in their own hands. They know that it's a very difficult fight for Alex probably, and they don't want to see that fight. So I hope we see a good fight here on Saturday. For the UFC, I hope Ankalaev wins, especially. Yeah, if Rakic wins and he looks good, they can give him a title shot. I don't mind, if he wins against Ankalaev. For me, Ankalaev's Ankaran King. So for me, if Rakic wins against him, he should fight Pereira next. So the winner of this fight should fight Pereira.
100%.
And I see Beartje saying, like, let's be honest here, if this goes to a decision, Alberg gets the next title shot. Alberg has no business against somebody in top 5 right now, in my opinion.
Is Jamal Hill fighting Yuri next?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know when.
There you
Probably
go.
311.
That's Los Angeles?
Yeah, I would think 311. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. There you go. Marcel broke some. No, you didn't break some.
No, I didn't. And I
They both said they have a fight. It makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
Come on. This fight's happening.
I mean, did you see or when Jamal was how do you say that? Was saying he had a fight. He did this.
Yeah, that's the fight. That's the fight. I can't wait for that. That's a fun fight because it's tucked in the ground.
I like that.
I saw Rockets train with another fighter. I'm not sure who it was, but I did see some training videos. Dude, he looks jacked, man. He looks ready.
He looks really good. Yeah.
Dude, he looks great. I think he's a good fighter, Rockets. I've always liked him, to be honest with you. Remember that fight with Volkan? I thought he won that fight. Remember Volkan Ustamir a few years ago? I thought he won that fight with Volkan.
Yeah, I remember
South Korea, I think it was. He lost to Jan Blachowicz by like an injury, and then he got chinned by Yuri, but he was looking good.
He looked good in the first round. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I think he's got a small dog shot here. Oh, he's training with Tom's out. Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Let's go to the next fight here. Lerone Murphy, Marcel the Miracle taking on Dan Ige, 50K. After this one, Lerone Murphy minus 258, Dan Ige plus 210. So a lot of money coming in Lerone because I know he was shorter odds. I think he wins. I like Lerone in this fight. I think he's just a better fighter, quite frankly. Danny is one of these guys that's like well-rounded. He's good everywhere. He's tough as fuck. Like you can't finish him, but you can win decisions against him. And I think Lerone wins a decision here. What are you gonna say?
He's like, I wouldn't call him a gatekeeper. He's like a plus gatekeeper, I would say. Better than normal gatekeeper.
I think Dan is a solid fighter. I think if it was 5 rounds, maybe he has a better chance here. But with 3 rounds, I think Lerone wins. I think he just wins the decision. Better striker, I think, in this fight. And
I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I picked Barbosa against Murphy last time, because I thought Murphy didn't look great in a couple of fights against Gabriel Santos, for example. But he really convinced me, dude, in that fight. He looked really good against Barbosa. So for me also, decision win for Murphy. Yeah.
By the way, I appreciate that. I mean, like, let's get some likes up. We're not. Here's the thing. I'm not out here pimping likes. I never even promote it as much as I should. But I appreciate you saying that, man. Thank you. We do appreciate that. I mean, the more people we got to listen, the better. We got 33 listeners right now, and we appreciate you guys. We really do. Thank you.
I mean, we got like so many questions if you compare it to a year ago. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's going well. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Everyone's listening. Thank you. That's all we can say. I really hope they push Lerone. I forgot. You know what? Forget. I saw it. He is 33. He is a little bit older prospect. He upset. How do you think he wins the decision? I think it goes to decision though too. I think it does go to decision.
Goes to decision.
Yeah, I don't think these guys finish each other. Yeah, he's a little bit older, taking Ige too.
Yeah, the problem with Lerone is
appreciate that.
For a long time he couldn't get into the US, right? He finally got his visa last time. I think the fight against Barbosa was his first fight in the US.
Yeah.
He fought in Abu Dhabi before.
Yeah. Ige's the better chin, bigger moments. Ige is one of the best chins that made. These Hawaiian guys have amazing chins. Like Holloway too. We'll talk about him in a minute. Brad DeMark. I know he got finished a few fights ago, but he's got a good chin, and yeah. You guys deserve it. Great guys, community. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, dude. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got co-main event, Marcel. Wow, we got here already. So lightning fast here. We don't do 3.5 hours, guys. The preview just about an hour. Let's go to this fight here. We got Robert Whitaker taking on Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah, I mean, hell of a fight. Khamzat's minus 245, Whitaker plus 200. I want to think that we've broken this fight down before because it was supposed to happen and it got canceled. Hit the dog button for me. Yeah, listen, guys. Khamzat's great. Don't get me wrong. He is great, but I think Whitaker's the right kind of fight. It's the right kind of fight for him to win. And the thing about Whitaker is there's just so much to like about him. First off, he's, the most experienced guy in the division at this point, right? Like, probably the most fights in the weight class besides Brad DeMar's. He's been around forever. He's still looking good. Destroyed Ikram. Beat Paulo Costa, looked good. He's only lost to Izzy and Dragas at this weight. He's just great. And in this fight, like 82% takedown defense historically, and that's against like the best guys in the weight class throughout the years. So he's very difficult to take down. And striking wise, he's the better striker here. Khamzat's going to try to take him down. He might get takedowns. I think Whitaker can defend. Whitaker, I think he got subbed like years. I mean, I'll double check this, but I think he got subbed when he was like a prospect way back in the day. Let me double check. Yeah, this is like 2000 and what year is it? 2011 by Qin Hoom, who I've never heard of, in Legend FC Marcel in China. So that was his only sub loss his entire career. That was 13 years ago, and he's fought again some really good guys over the years. Never been subbed. Could he get grounded and pounded? Perhaps. But even that, I just feel like he'll be able to shrimp, grab Khamzat's neck, defend, and it's 5 rounds. It is a 5-round fight, which I feel like definitely favors Whitaker. The longer the fight goes, it favors Whitaker. I think Khamzat's going to be super dangerous the first couple rounds, but as the fight goes on, I think it really does favor Rob, and I think he finishes Khamzat in the 4th or 5th round. I think it looked like I can't even think what fight would look like. Maybe it might look like the Burns and Chimaev fight where they're just slugging bombs eventually. It could look like that. I think he's going to like struggle after the first couple rounds, guys, and it's going to get competitive. Like, think about it, even Usman was like doing well late. I think Rob wins. I'm going with Rob. Marcel, I'm taking an underdog here in the co-main event. What do you think? If that's his dog, let's go.
I'm with you. Listen, man, Khamzat can definitely catch him early on, I think. If he gets him down, and I think he will go for the takedown. He will try to submit him or either finish him with ground and pound, but Rob is tough, That's the thing. Rob has to get past the first round, probably, and I think, listen, all people are saying like Khamzat doesn't have cardio issues. He showed in almost every fight he has the cardio issues if it goes past the first round, what I saw so far. So for me, it's like Whitaker can go 5 rounds. And let's be honest, man, if this goes to a 3rd or 4th round, I even think Robert can get a finish, man. So I'm a Robert Whitaker here. I don't know if he's going to get a finish. I think the safe pick is a decision probably. But Robert Whitaker for me as well. I'm fully with you.
Let's do it. Let's go for it. Do you guys know about Rob's camping condition? I've watched a few interviews with him. I don't know enough about his camping condition, but like he looks good and ready to go. And and here's the other thing. We talked about this before. I think Rob is one of the highest fight IQs in the game too. Would you agree with that? Yeah. And he's so experienced. And he did go through two storms with Romero. Romero took him down. He still beat him up, and he still dropped him. He still won those fights, right? They were close fights, but he won. He's in Dubai. That's good. Yeah, and I'll say this: if Rob wins, let me ask you a question. If Rob wins, does he get the title shot, or is the Strickland fight already a done deal?
I think the Duplessis Strickland fight is going to happen on the Sydney card. Is what I think.
Yeah. I want to get this comment too. Now I know you're joking, but here's the thing: this is the first time I'm picking against Chimaev. It's the first time I'm picking against him, and I know
for me as well.
Too. So we like him. We love him. He's amazing. He's a great fighter, but we like Rob even more, especially in this fight. Like I would pick Khamzat over Izzy right now. I would pick Khamzat. Who would you pick? Khamzat or Izzy? So
but Izzy doesn't have a good ground game, so yeah.
That's why I pick him, right?
Yeah.
Right? But I think this fight is a little bit tougher, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, I think he wins. We'll see what happens though. It's gonna be a good fight. I think it's a good fight either way. Winner's probably deserving a title shot. Maybe Strickland gets it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, we've got to the main event now. Ilia. Let's go to it right here. We got the featherweight title on the line. Ilia Topuria against Max Holloway. And this is going to be an amazing fight. I cannot wait to watch this fight. Ilia Topuria, minus 238. Holloway, plus 195. Marcel, what a fucking fight here. Main event, UFC 308, guys. We are blessed to watch this fight. We really are, because my God, what a fight this is. I want to hear your thoughts on Marcel. I will start with you, my friend. Who's your pick? UFC 308, featherweight title fight. Let's go.
Yeah, I love the fight, man. It's the fight I'm looking forward to the most since it's been announced. Max Holloway comes off that crazy knockout against Gaethje. Topuria had a great knockout over Volkanovski. I'm fucking high on Topuria, right? I've been for a long time. If you look at Holloway has to cut back to 145 now again. I think if Holloway wins, we're going to see a 4th Volkanovski fight probably. Really not looking forward to that one, to be honest. We've seen 3 already. but it's possible. At the same time, dude, I'm gonna be bold here. I think Topuria finishes him, dude. I'm going with Topuria, and I think he cracks him as well. If he doesn't finish him with strikes, he probably. Sorry, was not supposed to be that. He finishes him with a submission, maybe. So many people will be upset with that pick, but many people were upset when I picked Topuria over Volkanovski. So
Yeah,
that is what it is. But I'm going with Topuria again. Dude is good. He's legit. I think he's complete. It's striking. It can get better, but. Yeah, I'm going with Ilia, man. And I think Ilia finishes Max.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, eventually everyone's chin goes, right? So I don't think it's that crazy. Because I know that according to the stats, he didn't get dropped by Gaethje, but also the fight. Even Max said, he's like, I didn't get dropped. He's like, I think they're wrong about that stats, the odds, or the stat counters. I'm leaning a decision, though, just because I think Max can just tough his way to 5 rounds. But the thing is, like, listen, I love Max. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best fighters of all time. But I just think that Topuria is going to piece them up, dude. I really do. I think it looks like the Volkanovski fight. Like, people are only thinking about the Gaethje fight, like where he looked amazing. But what about that third Volkanovski fight, Marcel, where his face would look like a meat grinder, And Volk is like a lot smaller, I would say, too, than Topuria. I think Topuria is super, super legit. I think he's just so well-rounded. Not only that, though, guys, like, if the striking is not going well, and I think the striking will go fine, if it's not going well, I think he can get Max down. I think Max will be hard to get down, but I think he can get takedowns, and he can get some top control. I don't know. I don't think he finishes him in this fight, personally. I'm not saying, you're crazy, but it is a bold prediction, which you did say. I think a decision is more likely. That's my pick. I think Topuria outstrikes him, gets some key takedowns, and wins a decision. I think it's going to be an amazing fight, though. I think Max will show his toughness, his heart, but I think Ilia will also show that he is the best fighter in the world in this weight class. And again, the odds are they opened up a lot closer. People are betting on Ilia. I believe in this guy. I think he's legit. I think he wins. There you go. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, I've been called crazy so many times. I've been wrong so many times, But listen, man, I pick Ilia to beat Volk. I said club and sub, but he just knocked him out. Also pick Islam to sub Charles. So I mean, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I'm also wrong with. What was that fight last time? What was the recent time? Marab against Sean. I picked Sean, so I was wrong there. So sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're right. I was right with Bilal Muhammad, so I mean.
Yeah, don't think about the times you're all wrong. Think about the times you're right, too.
Yeah, it is what it is,
I think it's going to be a great fight. So, yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a fight. It's the right fight to make. By the way, I did want to get this comment from Tristan. He asked, will he do an interim title in Sydney in February? So, Volkanovski is going to fight in that card. The rumor is he'd fight Diego Lopez for an interim. That's the rumor. I don't think they need an interim. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous, personally.
Yeah, I think so, too.
That's really crazy, right? I think. I also feel like it might be too close timing for the winner of this fight to fight again. But we'll see. I mean, if someone dusts the other guy in a round, it'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, Volkanovski's going to get a title shot. He kind of earned it because he did fight, what's his name, Islam twice. He's kind of be given that like respect by the UFC. But I'll be honest, I think Volk, if he fights Topuria again, I don't think it goes well for him again. If he fights Max, that's his best chance to regain the belt because he's beaten 3 times. And yeah, the second fight he should have lost, but the third fight got destroyed. So yeah. Anyways, guys, it's gonna be a great card. I do want to just kind of really quickly go through the card once again. We had 2 consensus underdogs, Marcel. We had Bruno Ferreira was it the only one? No, we had 2. Sorry. Robert Whitaker and Bruno Ferreira. So we had 2. I also picked Raffael Cerqueira as a dog, and Marcel picked Bruno Silva as a dog. So we have 3 dogs each on this card, and Marcel picked Armin Petrosian. So he has 4. You have 4, Marcel, which I think that's fine. I think you'll be 3 or 4 dogs that win. Gonna really quick couple questions in here, guys, before we get out of here because it is getting a little bit late. Why would they do interim? I mean, I completely agree with you, Knox. It's only just because they want to get Volk back in a title shot, but to me, it's kind of ridiculous. Where your striking defense is bad, drops his right hand. I know he got dropped by Jai Herbert. I agree. He did get dropped. I mean, it's not like I can disagree. He got dropped in that fight. He did. He got head kicked. It happens, right? But I mean, I think his striking defense is decent. I want to look at it, dude. His head striking defense is 65%. Like it's legit. He's only absorbing 3.5 strikes a minute compared to almost 5 for Max. So it's a lot less strikes a minute. Max does land more, 7 just over 7 compared to about 4.5 for Ilia. So on a strike basis, yeah, Max is landing more, but he's also getting hit more. Yeah, I mean, these guys are elite fighters, Marcel. They're elite fighters. It's going to be a great fight. I can't wait. What will Hamza's excuse be when he loses to Rob? That he's sick or had a bad weight cut or something? I don't know. I think this is if Hamza loses, Marcel, is that kind of just get rid of him as a contender? You can't even fight.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, a loss to Whitaker doesn't make you a bad fighter. You know what I mean? So it's like, but this is a huge push. I think he's at 12 now, and he's fighting number 2 and number 3. So it's a big push. But I don't think if he loses that it's really looking bad. But probably then the hype goes a little bit away, I think, of him. But I think he's legit. Like you said, we always pick Hamzat in all of the other fights, but I just think that Robert Whitaker has a better cardio. He might lose the first round. Man, Hamzat might finishes him in the first round. It's definitely possible, but I'm more confident in picking Whitaker over 5 rounds. That's all.
There you go. All right, a couple other comments. We'll get over a sec. We just did this. This is our second podcast. We're done now. We're going to finish up. Is Rebecki a live dog? Marcel said he was. I don't think so, but Marcel thinks maybe.
Yeah.
Hamza Burns number 2. Hamza 11. Yeah, and he did well in that fight. But he did get. He didn't finish him, and he got rocked a little bit too. But yeah, it was a good fight. All right, Marcel. I think we should probably end the show. I think we've got enough, and I don't know about you, but I'm kind of hungry. I want to have dinner. So. I know I'm a big boy. I want to eat some food. All right, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate everyone who joined us today for the podcast. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you have good luck with your bets. If you win, then you can tell us that it was our doing to give you those dogs. But if you lose, it's not our fault. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, we have 2 consensus dogs. We'll see what happens. We have a good record with those. We'll see what happens. Anything else you want to say, Marcel?
I'm good. Enjoy the fights, guys. We're back next week. Maybe on Sunday, maybe on Monday.
I think we'll do Sunday.
We'd have to recap of UFC 308, and we have the preview of UFC Edmonton. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Back to Canada. Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. By the way, really appreciate this comment. Great value. I appreciate that. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Docs. Appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great week. Peace.